race fans, welcome to my little show about motorsports. I like to call In the Pits with me, StockCar Scott, here each Wednesday on the YouTube during racing season when I feel like it. Let's see, where to start? Well, Friday there was some Sprint Cup practice at Sonoma on the TV, and then I headed out to Evergreen Speedway in hopes of seeing super late model qualifying races for the next day's Summer Showdown. But after getting there quite late because of Friday traffic, I found out before going in that because of rain earlier that the three super late model qualifying races on the big 5/8 mile track had been postponed until Saturday. But before leaving the fairgrounds, didn't want to make the trip for nothing, I got in touch with my friend Andy Soul, the Honey Badger, and was able to obtain this sweet number 20 t-shirt that I hoped that I would be wearing for his Summer Showdown victory on Saturday. Went back to Seattle not having seen any racing, though I could have gone in to see Steve Woods win the street stock feature and Nat Barber win in the mini stock A main. But I was there to see super late models, and that had been postponed, so I went on home. So Saturday, after cousin Carl Edwards won the pole for the Sprint Cup road race at Sonoma, I returned to the Evergreen Speedway there, having set up the recorder for the Camping World Truck 200 at Gateway, Illinois, which ended up going a little long. I probably don't have to tell you folks why by now. The first race I saw when I got up to Evergreen was the mini stock B main, which was won by South Sound regular mini stock driver number 22 Ken Legault. This was after the second place driver basically took out the leader. Then came the three super late model qualifying heat races for the big Summer Showdown later that evening. The first two heat races went off without a caution, without any problems, with the number 43, Derek Thorne of Bakersfield, California, winning heat number 1, and the 48, Preston Pelter of Concord, North Carolina, winning heat number 2. The third heat did not go as well. A lap 1 backstretch crash damaged 4 cars before the heat really had a chance to get started. The eventual winner was in the number 64 car from Wenatchee, while the damaged cars were able to be repaired sufficiently enough to return for the 200 lap Summer Showdown feature later. But then came the 50 lap main for the street stock division, and it was a really good contest there, with a pretty good, nice big field there of 22 cars. A late race pass by number 12 Chad Fitzpatrick on number 23 Steve Woods led to another win for the young Fitzpatrick this season. Number 27 Jill Lang was third in an infrequent street stock start. Next was the Outlaw Mini Stock 50 lap main, but I basically missed it. I watched a few laps at the start and then went down to the concession area to hopefully grab some quick chili cheese fries and get back to my seat in time to catch the end of the 50 lap race. After all, 50 laps. Well, 30 minutes later, I had missed the rest of the mini stock main, which was won by number 76 Kenny Wade, and I was just receiving my food order, which, despite the extreme wait, was not proportionately better than my favorite similar South Sound Speedway race fare. Now, the chili cheese fries at Evergreen Speedway are tasty, but I don't know if they are worth the wait. And missing from what I saw on the screen up above that they have up above there, was a fairly good race in order to get these. That's what I missed, to get the chili cheese fries. So I'll just have to remember in the future to be sure to eat before I go see racing at Evergreen Speedway. That way I won't miss any of the racing at Evergreen Speedway. On the other hand, I will starve myself again this coming Saturday in anticipation of my favorite chili cheese fries at South Sound Speedway for the West Roads Firecracker 126 feature super late model race. But a little more on that in just a minute. Whew. All the talk of chili cheese fries get me worked up. The big event at Evergreen was started next after a little while after I got back there to my $35 seat. I went ahead and shot video from there of the Summer Showdown that basically quickly became the Summer Wreck Fest. Yeah, it was a little bit better view in my seat there than at the regular stand, the platform up above, and boy howdy, it was a wreck fest. But because of my personal life has been really busy here lately, I haven't really got a chance to review and enjoy, shall we say, the race video for the Summer Showdown, or to post it. As you know, I've got a couple of the races posted, but I haven't got the big one yet because it's in so many pieces. I do remember that almost 50 laps of green flag racing just after the midway break that they got in, but for the most part, the race was like the Argentine national soccer team. Messy, mostly messy. One early wreck between two track veterans knocked a young rookie out, and I don't just mean out of the race. Number 12, Trenton Moriarty, said the next day that he remembered little of Saturday evening as he recovered from a concussion. So that was just one of the many red flag unfurling events that slowed the race until it was well after 11 p.m. before it was finally completed. When the last final laps there of the evening were run, again, I was almost out of camera battery, just like during the street stock race. So a few final laps of the last dozen laps or so in my video of Summer Showdown were not recorded there, so I could capture the finale there. The big surprise towards the end was that the dominating leader of the night, Preston Pelleter's engine, went south, so they say, or back to North Carolina, one might say. Boy, I tell you, it sounded sick when it went by there the last couple of laps. This handed the Summer Showdown win over to Taylor Riddle of Natchez, Washington. The 15 of Riddle was followed a few seconds later by the 43 of Derek Thorne of Bakersfield, California, who used to race in the K&N West Series, if that name happens to sound familiar. Third was a name very familiar to the race fans out at Evergreen Speedway in the number 70, Jeff Knight. He seemed to have many fans out there Saturday night in their new Jeff Knight t-shirts, but I was supporting my new Andy Soul t-shirt on its maiden voyage. Here, did you see the back? Anyway, but it didn't provide the hoped for mojo for the Honey Badger, whose car broke early. Hopefully it will bring better mojo when I wear it to the next West Coast Late Model Series event at Yakima on July 9th. Sorry, Bucky. This weekend at South Sound Speedway, I will be going down there. I'll get to try out my new Molly helmet t-shirt here, because I read just recently, let me get it up there where you can see it, yeah. I read just recently on Facebook that she will be joining an already fair-sized field for the West Roads Firecracker 126. So hopefully the new shirt, new t-shirt mojo can work for Molly there at South Sound. One more thing before I put Evergreen and Summer Showdown completely in the rearview mirror. Caden Stinger, it was very nice to meet you there at Summer Showdown. Sorry I could not shake your hand, but you understand I was busy at the moment. But it's always nice to meet a fan. Thank you, Caden. I got home very late from Evergreen, so I did not have the time to watch the truck race there at Gateway. But I am glad I checked the end to see if it was complete. It wasn't, because, like I said, it had gone late. But I was able to capture the end on the first replay that they had later that morning. It was interesting, to say the least. One almost forgets that Christopher Bell won after a great final restart for his second career truck victory. Yep, but because John West Townley decided to go all UFC on Spencer Gallagher after a late race wreck, all the folks will remember of Bell's win there at Gateway will be that fight. Well, today, both were fined by NASCAR to the tune of $15,000 for John West and $12,500 for Spencer. I guess because he didn't throw the first punch. Well, good for both of them. The next truck race is at Kentucky, in a couple of weeks. Sunday morning, before the Sprint Cup race, was an IRL event at Road America at Elkhart Lake in Wisconsin. I saw a little bit of it, but didn't learn about the end, didn't learn until later that Will Power had won over Tony Kanaan. Then later, at a reasonable time of the day, the Sprint Cup guys did some road racing themselves at Sonoma, California, a place I want to go some year instead of Summer Showdown. Dale Jr. didn't do as well as I hoped he would, finishing 11th after getting smashed into late in the race by pole sitter Carl Edwards. The race leaders were determined basically by pit strategies and caution flags late in the race, with it coming down to Tony Stewart holding off a couple of Toyotas to win his first race in over 3 tumultuous seasons for Old Smoke. It was another feel-good win this year that will probably get the retiring veteran into this year's chase for the Cup. Oh. Okay. Relatively speaking, my youngest brother's favorite, number 4, Kevin Harvick, finished the best at 6th place. My guy was 11th. My wife's Biffle was 18th there. And my oldest brother's new rookie driver, Chase Elliott, was 21st at Sonoma in the Cup race there. But he won the K&N Pro West Series race that was held there on Saturday. And I think that race can be seen tomorrow evening on NBCSN. So Richard, get your VCR out to record it. The next K&N West race is nearby. sort of nearby, at State Line Speedway up in Post Falls, Idaho on the 9th of July. I'd really like to go, but I will be with the West Coast Late Model Series at Yakima, cheering on my favorite local drivers, who I know will put on an excellent show. And I hear right now that they're having a really a good response and a really good car count. So, but first we got to get through this weekend. And this coming weekend, we have a Daytona Friday and Saturday evenings here with the Xfinity race on Friday night, Friday evening, and the Sprint Cup race on Saturday. Then early on Sunday morning, and I do mean early, in Austria is the next Formula One Grand Prix. Looking forward to that one. But the big thing in this weekend for racing for me, StockCar Scott, is the West Roads Firecracker 126, which over the years has become a favorite for me and my wife to go to each year, and I can highly recommend it as a fun evening of racing and fireworks. And this year the weather really looks great for that night, this coming Saturday night. One of my favorite local races ever. Excuse me, let me start that up again. One of my favorite local races ever was there with a win at this event a few years ago by Parker Stevens. I hope to see something like that again this year, and it's bound to happen because South Sound Speedway is a great little place to watch racing. And it's also a great place for some mighty good chili cheese fries. So if you want to join me this Independence Day weekend, South Sound Speedway is the place to be. Then I will be back here next Wednesday on the YouTube to talk about that and Daytona and other racing, because you know that's what I do here on my little show about motorsports. So join me next week, same Stock Car time, same Stock Car channel, here on In the Pits with me, the one and only Stock Car Scott, talking racing, you know, if I feel like it. Thanks again for watching, race fans.